What is up, everybody out there in HeroClix land? This is Scott Porter here for a special little unboxing event. In my box that I got a couple of really cool bricks of upcoming HeroClix set in, Fantastic Four being one of them, Absolute Carnage being the other, I also got this box that I didn't know was coming. It's called HeroClix Battlegrounds. And from reading the outside of the box, it talks about the fact that it's a new way to get into HeroClix, and it's a great way to play HeroClix if you're a veteran. So anybody who's never played the game of HeroClix before, this unique starter set game box is for you. 10 figures. Each figure has 2 different dials on them. One with no special powers, with just basic powers, that is geared towards teaching you how to play the game, and then a second dial that has more advanced powers, more synergy between the characters, and really gets into the nitty-gritty of what it is to play HeroClix as a veteran. So whether you're a casual and want to play in a very easy way, you're a beginner who's just trying to learn the game, or you're a vet, this box is for you. It is Avengers Battlegrounds, Avengers versus the Masters of Evil. So I'm guessing we're going to have equal number of heroes and villains here, or at least equal numbers in point value. I'll show you a little bit more of a close-up of the box here. Avengers, Masters of Evil, you can see here. You can see a little window with some of the figures in there. You can get a little sneak peek at what is in the box. Of course, some of the more famous characters so far. On the outside of the box, you have Baron Zemo, Winter Soldier, stuff like that. I'm going to flip the back over here and show you guys the back here. You can pause it and kind of see the description. It has everything that you need to play a game of HeroClix. It tells you what I said here. It's a standalone game. There's themes in here, theme cards, all types of stuff. You see Captain America there, Iron Man, Captain Marvel, of course. Pretty cool. Looks like it has a map and everything. So let's open this thing up and let's see what we have. Always, whoa, that is a thick package. Gotta love a thick bag, baby. I can already tell you get some new dice. I'm a sucker for dice, so I'll just show you those right off the bat. They look pretty awesome. Black and red motif, and Avengers with like a little splatter at the top. Pretty cool. I don't know if I can, they're a little small. I don't know if I can get them into, focus. I'll just put them there. Let the wizard in the back of the room take care of everything here at Hyper RPG Studios. Those dice look incredible, actually. I'll be playing with those a lot. I'll show you the figures in just a moment, but I want to take a peek at what we have in this bag here. Looks like we've got some old school tokens that have like bystander tokens here. Not necessarily game tokens like we're used to nowadays. But might as well show you here. We got Black Panther, like a little bystander Black Panther, a Wrecker, a Taskmaster, MODOK, a little one-click MODOK. That's awesome. MODOK's like my favorite. We got War Machine, Nick Fury. Of course, we've got all the typical, board tokens that you need. We've got some interesting little things here, action token things. I don't know what these are going to do. Little light object tokens here, little computer screen, stuff like that. Pretty cool. We have, of course, the character cards. We've got the rule book. We've got the powers and ability card. So everything you would need to learn how to play the game. And if you haven't bought a starter kit in a while, why not, right? Because things get updated over time. It's one thing to read them online, another thing to have them in your hands. We get 2 maps, and we know that they're usually double-sided, so we might get 4 brand new maps here. Ultron's Lair indoor. Open it up and try and give you guys a peek at that. And on the other side, you have the Helicarrier interior indoor. So here is Ultron's Lair as I clumsily try and unfold the map. Ultron's Lair is pretty cool. On the other side, you have the Helicarrier. I mean, Ultron's Lair is insane, actually. It's just all these cables. But on the other side, the Helicarrier, plenty of hindering terrain. It doesn't look like there's any additional rules, which sometimes you have on these maps, but if this is geared toward a newer player being able to actually play, then maybe those game scenarios aren't built into these maps necessarily. Still, some pretty cool areas. I'm guessing the other one has something to do with the Masters of Evil. Yeah, you've got a castle hideout outdoor map, and the other side of that, oh, looks like an Iron Man workshop or something. Iron Man's workshop indoor. But here, the castle, the outdoor, the castle, Baron Zemo-ish. And then the other side, you can see a Hulk Buster being built, a bunch of different Iron Man frames or marks, Iron Man, Iron Suit marks, you know. So it's pretty cool. A little hover car in there as well. The maps are great. Can tell you that already. So kind of stoked. But what are we all here for? Are we here for tokens? Are we here for maps? No, we're here for figures. We're here for dials. We're here for playability. And you know, sometimes some of these pieces can really surprise you. You know, you got these little offshoot sets, and then all of a sudden you'll have a dial that it just works, especially for tournament play or whatever. So and this is fully compatible with HeroClix as well. So let's see, before we get into these, oh, they give you 2 cards for each character. That's cool. So I'll separate these out while I'm talking to you. You've got Ultron, Captain Marvel, Mach-X, Captain America, Iron Man, Black Widow, Hulk, Winter Soldier, Red Skull, Baron Zemo, and that's a pretty good collection of figures. And they each the casual beginner one comes with its own card, so you don't have to share cards with everything. That's rad. You know, I've been wondering how HeroClix would kind of scale things back to try and attract new players. I know we've got the new rule where you can just ask to see the opponent's figure dial on the back of their card. That makes things a little bit easier for people, a little less daunting. But doing it this way really teaches people the basics. I've got a 5-year-old son. I play HeroClix with him at home. Do I really play HeroClix with him? Kind of. We've used the dice to start teaching him addition, which is great. You know, you roll a 5 and a 3, how many is that? And he has started to learn math and basic addition and subtraction and equaling numbers through playing HeroClix, which is cool. He doesn't love when his players get knocked off the board. That being said, this will help him when he gets to the point where he can read and he can start dissecting things on his own. This will help me be able to play this game with my son. And to me, that is a beautiful, beautiful thing. We want to share this game as much as we can. And simplifying it in this way, having an option for Clix players like this is really, really cool. So I'm going to start popping these guys out. I guess we'll look at the heroes first and then look at the villains. Ooh, they are really, really in here tight. The good thing is, I've already had a couple of the figures pop off, but they have those bases that are reattachable, and they've gone right back on. Nothing worse than getting a booster and having one of your favorite characters snap off at the legs or something. So having these breakaway pieces is really, really cool, and you can see what I'm talking about here. I'm sure you guys have all seen them before, but you know, you just have these pegs on the bottom, just put Hulk right back on. Here we go. I am a little bit surprised to have Mach 5 in here. It's pretty, I mean, Mach 10 in here. That's pretty cool. All right. Without further ado, let's just get started. I know what you guys want to see. You want to see figures. You want to see bases. So here we go. The heroes. I've got Captain America. Got Iron Man. Black Widow. Hulk. And Winter Soldier, I'm guessing, can play a wild card both sides, and Captain Marvel. So we do not have an equal number of heroes and villains like I thought we would. I thought we would have an equal number of heroes and villains. I really did. We don't, though. We don't have 5 and 5. So we'll see how their point totals add up. But when you have an Ultron who can be super powerful, then maybe that helps combat the difference in figures, because you got to still match the point totals. Let's see here. Let's start with Iron Man. You'll see here you've got 2 cards, right? Got 102A, which just has basic powers on it. He rings in at 50 points. Sculpt is pretty cool. You have some basic powers. And with your power and abilities card, you can figure out what they do right away. A pretty bare card. But then, for the more advanced players, to see if this guy's worth playing in a normal game, you've got Avengers, Stark Industries, Armor, and Scientist keywords. You've got a special movement power. Got to make this one count with Force Blast and Running Shot. Help me out here with Stop Click and Toughness on it. Let's see, that's the second half of the dial. So they, on the back of the card, they make sure that you know you've got that. This one rings in at 75 points. So 75 or 50 points for the Iron Man there. All right, moving on. Let's see, let's go with Captain America. Again, you've got that basic bear dial there. Very standard Captain America here. You got a special defense power with indomitable energy, shield deflection, toughness. Adjacent friendly characters modify their defense by +1 if you're standing next to them. What's kind of cool is that both of them are 5 clicks long. But he only comes in at 50 and 25 points. That is crazy. Only 50, you get a 25-point Captain America. But again, no special powers. So we're seeing how much the power creep really costs us, I guess, right? For all of those special powers over time. Let's go next with Captain America's best friend, Winter Soldier, good old Bucky Barnes. And I guess they're counting him as a bad guy in this game. So he is not a hero. He is part of the Masters of Evil. He's got Hydra, Masters of Evil, Assassin, Soldier, and Spy keywords. Again, you've got his base card here, Sniper's Nest, Cybernetic Chokehold. He's got Sniper Rifle, I don't think I'm getting rusty. And then you've got special movement power, Who is Bucky, with Plasticity and Sidestep and Stealth. So even the more advanced cards aren't all that advanced. They're 5 clicks long. He's 75 or 50 points. Not bad. So far, I haven't seen anything that's really standing out to me as to get me to play this outside of this particular game. But again, that's not what this is about. This is about getting your friends who have always been interested in the game, but maybe never played, maybe your family members like me and my son, to play the game, you know, and to get into it. And you know what? I actually probably would. That second dial on Winter Soldier wasn't too bad. I might consider plugging this guy in. Let's look at Black Widow next. She's got Avengers, Martial Artist, Soldier, and Spy keywords. Her A dial has Precision Strike, Super Senses, Shape Change, the Avengers team ability. Her other one has a special movement power, the Itsy Bitsy Spider with Sidestep and Stealth, and Super Spycraft with Close Combat Expert and Shape Change. Again, they're still using a lot of their comics knowledge over at WizKids to make all of that flavor text really fit the characters here. You can look at these side by side. Black Widow's 50 or 25 points, just like Captain America, so very low cost. Still, I think we could find some ways to use some of these low-costed dials here. Okay, next for the heroes, we will go with Captain Marvel. Very dynamic pose there. All the flyers used to just kind of just stand there looking like they were standing, but they were flying. Instead, now, with this little transparent piece on the bottom, we can actually get them in real positions. Great sculpts. Avengers, Kree, and Cosmic. The keywords are the same for both on all of these pieces, both versions, the A and the B dials. You've got higher, faster, further, hypersonic speed when Captain Marvel uses it and hits after resolutions. She may use charge at no cost. That is a special movement power. Again, That's a dial I might use, though. 75 points, pretty straightforward, nothing too crazy. But a nice lower costed version there at 50. If you just love the character and you want to fit them onto different themes, it's a way to do that. Okay, Hulk is next. Last but not least for the heroes, and then we'll move into the villains. We've already seen one of them with Winter Soldier, but here are the Hulk cards. Avengers, Brute, and Monster. Comes in at 75 or 50 points. Has a special attack power on the B dial. Strongest one there is. Super strength. When Hulk makes a close object attack, modify damage by an additional +1. Boom. No charge on the lower pointed version there. So really just a lot of the basics. Some good damage though still, especially in this. You know, if you're doing 4 damage, you're pretty much KOing anything on the board. So we'll move on to the villains here. We already saw Winter Soldier, and they're classing Winter Soldier as a villain, which makes sense. You know, he was for a long time. So in this time range of these books, let's look at Baron Zemo, Masters of Evil, Thunderbolts, Martial Artist, and Soldier. A Better Plan, Leadership, and Perplex. Boom. Sidestep and Blades, Claws, Fangs, 11 attack, only for 50 points. That Baron Zemo's worth taking another look at. And even the lesser version with that Leadership, 3 damage, 11 attack. You know, it's going to be tricky to find a place, but still, if there's only coming in at 25 points, you can always find a place for a 25-point figure. All right, moving on. Let's leave Ultron for last. Let's look at the good old Abner Jenkins. Here we go. Masters of Evil, Thunderbolts, Armor, and Scientist. It's got some running shot, such on the A dial. On the B dial, you've got a special damage power, Beetle, Armor, Upgrade, Enhancement, and Perplex, but only to target opposing characters. So no perplexing your teammates. Still pretty dialed down. Comes in at 75 or 25 again. Like I said, you can always find a place for a 25-point figure who's got energy shield deflection with a 17 defense, 3 natural damage on the first 3 clicks, indomitable, 9 movement with running shot on his second and third clicks. You can find some place to play that guy outside of this game. So even the beginner versions are playable in certain scenarios, even outside of this. But within this context of this very balanced version of the game, it's pretty cool to see how they did that. Okay, A and B on Red Skull here. He's got Hydra, Masters of Evil, and Soldier. No, I should have showed you Abner Jenkins, by the way. I'm going to show you Beetle real quick. Okay, now, Red Skull. Red Skull has Dust of Death, poison, but damage dealt is penetrating. Also has a special defense power with Indomitable. You cannot defeat me. Stop. The first time each game Red Skull would be KO'd. Instead, roll a d6 and heal him equal to half the result. Protected against Pulse Wave. Yeah, that could be a game breaker in this one. Could really save you if you're playing as the Masters of Evil in this. But again, 50 and 75 points, that 50-point figure. 3 natural damage, Outwit, Poison, Indomitable. The 75-point version, there's a lot of clicks of that dust. Also that stop click at the end can turn things around. Pretty cool. Okay, last but not least, we have Ultron. And then we've got a couple of cool little campaign cards that I'll show you guys at the end when I'm talking through when this thing is going to be released and where you can find it. Ultron is last but not least. There you go. I'll show you the Ultron here. That's a pretty cool sculpt, actually, what he's standing on top of. Ultron has Masters of Evil, Future, Robot, Ruler, Scientist. Has the Age of Ultron, special movement power on the B dial with phasing, teleport, free, roll a d6, phasing, teleport at no cost, but only to move up to the result. Ah, so you can get a little head start there. Pretty cool power. Comes in at 150. There you go. That 100-point figure is actually 6 clicks long. Some pretty good stats there. And with that free roll, move, phasing, teleport, you can get yourself in position, can kind of take the place of some running shot there, especially with that psychic penetrating damage on the attack there. That's a pretty good piece. Probability control. I think it'd be hard to beat that guy within the confines of this particular game. Ultron's the winner for me, but I will let you guys make your own decision down in the comments below. What do you think about these dials? Are they playable outside of this game? Are you interested in picking this thing up? Because I kind of really am interested in that. We have some different campaigns here. I'll just put them up. You guys can pause it. This is coming out at the end of July. There's another little set, the Fantastic Four set that comes out around there. But this is definitely worth picking up. There's different scenarios all around Winter Soldier, around Iron Man's workshop, around finding his technology. There's some really cool stuff here. So again, guys, feel free to pause this, read these campaign scenarios. This campaign B, I love that it says meanwhile at Stark Tower. That's the B scenario. Here's the C scenario. We have so many in here. I think we've got 7 scenarios all told in this pack. Here we go, scenario D, scenario E here, all according to plan, Earth's mightiest heroes. We saw some of this in the Fantastic Four starter as well. So I kind of really love this campaign stuff. I used to play a lot of online HeroClix. I used to play over at a place called Creation Matrix and also at HC Realms. And we would come up with themed games like this a lot. And it's easier to do that in message forums because you can just put the rules at the top of the thread. You play the game using an online die roller, using a map positioning app, which there are a couple of now for HeroClix. But this makes it even easier. You have actual campaign rules cards. This is really cool. The new Age of Ultron and Ultron's Lair scenarios. Let me flip those because I put them backwards. Scenario F, Scenario G. Flip them over. You go ahead and pause that, guys, and read it all. This video would be an hour long if I was to do that. And this is a full campaign. The cool thing is you can play these campaign standalones. You can play them separately as well. So you can play them really like over time. Things that happen in earlier campaign modes will affect the scenarios later in the campaign. So that's really cool. I'm stoked, man. This is a really neat way, especially for somebody like me who is hoping to teach his 5-year-old son how to play this game going forward. My son's starting to read, starting to understand numbers a lot better. So playing this with his dad is something that he's very interested in doing. And while my son still likes me, I think they like you until they're about 13. I want to play a game with him. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this little standalone surprise HeroClix unboxing. Brand new Battlegrounds. It comes out at the end of July. So keep your eyes out, guys, for this box. Boom. I love all the scenarios. The character choice was a little bit surprising for me, which is cool. We're dealing with very comic-specific time frames and what characters were at a certain point in their history. So Winter Soldier's a bad guy in this. That's really cool. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I want to say thank you to WizKids for sending this out to me. It was a nice little surprise while we're all kind of still trying to stay safer at home. And it'll give me something to do. Plus, I'll go home and I'll show my little boy these things, and he's just going to go nuts. Of course, he's going to want to take all the heroes. He's going to always want to make me play as the bad guy, but hey, that's how it goes. I'll just have to crush those puny Avengers. Anyway, like I said, set comes out at the end of July, so keep your eye out for it at your local comic book shop or your local gaming store. Make sure you order it through them. Pick it up at the curb and to support your local businesses if you can. Thank you to WizKids. Thank you to Hyper RPG Studios, where we're shooting this in Studio City. And thank you to you guys for watching. And then I'll see you guys on the next one. And until then, may all your rolls be, it's a 7. Critical hits. Peace.